All right. Marcus McDaniel here again. This is Physics Week 13, I believe. So this week was a little different than last week. We're going over angular momentum principle again, multi-particle kind of systems with angular momentum, things like that. We had one video that was about a rigid body example, which means when they're all connected and they move as like a whole versus moving all different directions individually. So yeah, basically this week with angular momentum principle, we had to remember that Newton's second law is involved. So I'm gonna start with stuff that was like a review. So like I said, Newton's second law, like with F net delta T, that stuff. We've been hearing that all semester. So that's one of the points that was a little review for me, I guess. We also went into Newton's third law, which also could be seen as like a sense of like review. We're still talking about like big I, things like that, and but things that I learned. We went over like discrete. So this was in the rigid body example video. We went over like discrete and continuous. Not really sure the difference between those yet. I don't know, just besides that their formulas are different. One involves like an integral, so the other one involves like the sum of. But yeah, so basically we went over, I want to say, reciprocals again. That was another review. So the video was in the multi-particle video, and it was talking about how like the force on 3 like due to 1 is going to be equal to like the reciprocal, so it's like the inverse of the force on 1 like due to 3. So stuff kind of like that. Now the stuff was a little more challenging. In the rigid body example, I kind of got a little bit lost. The video went a little bit fast with the calculations. And also in the last video, which is just supposed to be an example video, which involved the hockey stick and the hockey puck, things like that. So that one went very quick. It kept jumping around trying to solve for different unknown variables. I wasn't really sure what was going on. So I'm going to have to watch it again, or maybe try to look for a problem similar on YouTube or something like that. That could always help. So I'll definitely try to do that. But within that video, it was just kind of, I feel like it's all the same steps. They're just doing it in larger quantities and with more values now. I'm not really too sure. I mean, I just finished that video, so I'm still kind of like trying to process it. So it's a little still jumbled in my brain. Not really sure how to like talk about it. But yeah, so I mean, just same thing with angular momentum. I'll go back to that. Kind of like that's like been the main focus for this week and a little bit from last week, where we're trying to find like L total, things like that, adding up the different L's from each particle that's involved, where the center of mass is always involved. So like some of the calculations, like you use cross products, and that's when you have to cross like R and P. So you're using like momentum and R. So after doing all the cross products and stuff, you can find your L values, which then just sum to get L total, which in most cases is kind of what you're looking for. We're also using translation again, because L trans plus L rotational is equal to L total. So that's kind of where that comes from. So now, for a part in my major, I'm not too sure what would relate to my major. I guess if you went off like on a tangent, I guess saying kind of how there's multi-particle systems can be related to like the type of, multifunctional systems that I'm going to have to deal with, I guess, like involving different parts and seeing how they work as a whole. So maybe that's kind of like the rigid, more rigid body example. Kind of more talking about, how things can work as one, and you figure out, based on the formulas that you have. That would be the only kind of avenue I guess I could take on that kind of section. But yeah, so basically just we're still going on angular momentum and pretty confusing problems, but I feel like if we just kind of if I watch the videos a couple times and maybe look at YouTube or just search online, I think I can find enough problems where that'll help me get the hang of it. So yeah, that's basically a sum up for week 13. We're almost done. We're getting to the end, so I guess we'll do maybe one more of these videos, but I'll see you guys back at week 14.